Hello, one and all, and welcome to What Were We Talking About Again? The only show on the internet that can make a gargoyle come back to life. Here with me this week is my friend Michael.
Hello there, everybody. Good to be here.
All right. Now, you know what the problem with this podcast is? It just goes right into my voice. There's no like theme music or
Yeah,
introductory noise. It's just me saying hello in my wacky voice.
I like it.
Yeah, it gives it a nice humble feel, I
You
guess.
get right into there. You get the
Yeah.
energy immediately.
Uh-huh. All right. So, Michael, why don't you tell the audience a little bit about yourself?
Hi. I'm Michael Auble. I go to Township High School with my friend Jake.
Yeah.
We're in Spanish together. That's always fun, and economics. But yeah, I like to play music a lot. That's probably the main shtick.
Yeah, you just came here from a band competition of some sort. How did those work?
Yeah, I just did. It's pretty interesting. I won't get too involved, but it was for indoor percussion, which basically
Hmm.
means I play the xylophone. I shake my hands around and I hit things, and it's fun. But yeah, it lasted a pretty long while. It was a good 6 hours. We left at like 12, and we get there and we just play some songs that we learned. The people playing their big drums, they move around, they march around. It's like marching band, but without the people playing like trumpets and stuff.
Gotcha. All right, that sounds very interesting. Yeah, I know you're very involved in your school's music program. Our school's music program.
Indeed, indeed.
Yeah. But we are just going to, I mean, nothing really interesting happened this week with me, so we're just going to go right into it. Uh, Carly could not be here this week. Apologize for that, but she was kind enough to provide the starting topic for this week.
Ah,
Have you listened to either of the two episodes that we've done?
yeah, I was able to listen to a bit of it.
Okay, so do you understand how this works? This whole what the concept of the show
More
is?
or less, but you know what? For any new viewers, let's explain it.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping you would say no, so you could be like, you know what, that's
Yeah,
perfect
yeah.
because I can explain to you both.
Perfect segue. We got it.
Okay, so we start with a topic and then we talk about it however we want for a 15-minute time frame. It could be a discussion, a debate, a deportation, whatever. And then at the end of the 15 minutes, we have to switch topics to whatever the last word or phrase stated in the previous block was. Now, we don't have to stick to the topic we start with for each block. It's just we have to switch every 15
Right,
minutes.
right.
So the missing ingredient here is the starting topic, and Carly's starting topic that she very kindly provided to us is airline food.
Airline food. Oh my, that's pretty
Yep.
good. Also, by the way, this top this the what's the one I'm looking for? The uh the game or the way this all works. I could definitely smell a board game. I think that could really work out. Yeah,
Yeah, maybe.
maybe. But anyways, airline food. It's funny to talk about that
All right,
because
wait. Let me set the timer
oh,
first.
that's right.
Yes, so I mean, the general idea here is that we don't know how much time there is left.
Right, of course, it's unexpected. It's my
Right.
apologies. I'm just too excited
No.
to talk about airline food. You know, like
Yeah, it's such
you
a
triggered me.
yeah.
I was waiting all day.
I have why does it set for 99 hours? Jesus. All right.
Good lord, that's almost like
Scroll
5 days.
all the way. That is almost 5 days.
It's kind of calendar at that point.
All right, 15 minutes. We are going to start.
Perfect.
All right. So, airline food.
Airline food. It's very funny you mentioned that because my mother is a flight attendant.
Wow.
I know this is very serendipitous. I have to say.
I feel like you've told me this before, but I just forgot about it.
No, that's fine. I haven't like get everybody I tell. I mean, who really remembers anybody's other's parents' occupation? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's like yeah, my mother's sister's cousins is a pediatrician. But anyways, but like yeah, so airline food. So yeah, my mom is a flight attendant. So she tell this all the time a lot. But also ironically, despite that my mom's a flight attendant, I don't really go on airlines too much. Probably last time I was a couple years ago when I went to San Fran. I didn't have any airline food then.
Yeah.
But yeah.
The last time I went on an airplane was when I went to visit my Dominican family,
Oh yeah, that's
and
good.
that was when I was 6 years old. Now, I don't remember what the food was really like, but I do remember I had a really good sandwich there.
That's good.
Every comedian's, that's the stereotypical Seinfeldian
Yeah,
comedian
exactly,
line. What's
yeah.
the deal with airline food? But honestly, what is the deal with
No,
airline
like,
food?
it's
Is it supposedly bad or is it supposedly
maybe
good?
the deal is that it's very forgettable because I don't remember it. I
Yeah.
like and yeah, and I think the also thing is like whenever I go on an airplane, like I always bring my own food. And like you're allowed to pack like a sandwich of your own when you
Yeah.
go on an airplane. That's what I always do. If I, like whenever I would go with my family, we just pack our own, and that's always very effective.
I think peanuts are a very popular item to be served on airplanes.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know why that would be.
Yeah, right. Like
Are
I
they
mean,
like easily stored and packaged? Like I
it's
don't
like
even.
the altitude is good for that. I don't really know.
Yeah, they expand with altitude.
Yeah, the flavor,
And
the flavor just
the
just great.
flavor just bursts when it's at a high altitude.
Yeah, but like going back into it, I know my sisters and my dad kind of like because they have a lot more free time than I do because they're not in high school, they're all in college.
Yeah.
They go on trips a lot of time, and sometimes my moms will hook them up like they can get first class, which is pretty amazing. In this business,
What airline does your mom work for?
she works for United.
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 That's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
I think it's in my top 10 airlines.
Yeah, I can't even like think of any airlines. I think that's
Yeah,
so
I
it's
mean,
very
almost
respectable.
every airline
Yeah.
is probably in my
Yeah.
top 10. But
But anyways, but yeah, like I've heard stories and like they'll get ice cream sometimes.
wow, ice
Yeah.
cream, the most gourmet food of all time.
I know. So like I guess airline food is pretty good if it's not just forgettable. Like you get ice cream, like that's nice.
Yeah, a nice sweet little dessert to accompany you on your trip.
I think one time in my life I got that hot towel thing.
What hot towel thing?
They give you hot towels sometimes, like
Like on your neck?
yeah, you can put them on your face. Like some people on their face and go to sleep. Like it's weird, but like they do it in like first class. I think it might be business class. That happened once in my life, but it's pretty weird.
Wouldn't you like drown if you put it on your face?
I don't.
Is it like a damp wet towel?
It's
Like, or is it like dry hot somehow?
it's pretty. It's a very soft, wet. I don't really know. Like it doesn't like it's yeah.
It doesn't. It's not soaking,
No,
but
it's
it's
not like
like
it's dripping.
slightly damp.
Exactly.
Because I think the way they get it hot is probably by putting it in boiling water.
That's yeah. I think that's what it is. But yeah, like and I guess it's pretty relaxing. I don't know. It's probably more so just like a placebo thing. It's like you expect to feel so relaxed and like in first class they just give you this thing and they tell you it's relaxing. I was like okay.
Yeah, I'll accept it. I want to feel relaxed.
Exactly.
I've gotten hot towels at barbers though, or not barbers, but hair salons.
Right. Yeah.
What is the dichotomy there? Like, do you call it a barber if you're a male and a like? Why not just? Is it just a haircut place by default, and then the barbers and salons focus primarily on male and female hair respectively? Is that how it works?
That isn't a question because it's probably one of those things where either like there's just a history where it is like a gendered kind of thing, or it's like the institution is like gets so specific with its definitions that it is, but like in the general public it isn't, or it's just like people were just lazy and they just kept calling things different things.
See, my sister's going to school to be a hair person.
Oh, like a beautician.
Yeah,
That's pretty
and
neat.
I don't even know like what the deal. Like, is it a salon? What separates a salon from a haircut place, and what separates a barber from a haircut place?
I'm really not sure. I feel maybe like a barber specializes more in hair, specifically in like a salon is like hair and nails and other stuff. That's one of those things that I could probably make.
that would make a lot of sense.
I'm not sure. I don't know. Any viewers chime in because I have no clue.
Maybe it has something to do with like selling hair products there too.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh no, that's not true. Because Supercuts, I don't think is a salon, but they sell like shampoos.
You know,
there.
you know what's actually funny? I don't get my hair cut like at any salon or anything. My dad just cuts it, so I'm very much like I have no clue.
Yeah, it looks pretty fresh.
Thank you,
Dude, your
man.
dad does a good job. Isn't he a firefighter?
He is, yeah, in Atlantic City.
So does he put your hair on fire and then fight it? Is that how he cuts it?
That'd be interesting. I can see that. Like, it'd be good. Someone could rock that look. But no, I mean, there's not much.
Oh, yo, that'd be a cool trend, like seared hair.
Yeah, right. Just like
Just the tips are just burnt, and that's
Yeah.
like part of the fashion.
yeah, it'll look good like blonde hair, I guess. But like brown hair, I guess it'd be like what'd you do to your hair?
Yeah, like, it just looks all weird.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Yeah, there's not much you can do with my hair, anyways. Like it's so curly. Like there's not like. I can't even. You can't really style it. Like do you use product in your hair? Like
I used to, but now I just kind of brush it. You know,
Yeah, I get it. I usually like I'll just like comb it after a little while after I got a shower. It's still like kind of wet but a little dry, and I'll just like shake it around, and it just settles on this kind of like pseudo fro. I don't really know. It's just like
just it's the Michael style.
there you
That's
go,
the
there
point.
you go. That's all you ever need. Just to
Yeah, just be yourself.
yeah, there you go.
Do you think cavemen, like, you know how, like, you look at someone else, who, whatever direction you swing in, like, male or
Right,
female,
of
and you're
course.
attracted to them because their hair looks nice? Well, cavemen didn't have the luxury of being able to have nice hair. So, do you think they just, like, all thought each other's hair were ugly?
Well, you know what? You know what? I was gonna say like yeah, probably, but you know what? That actually raises a good scientific question because I think one of the things is a lot of the things we associate with what makes like good or like attractive kind of hair, it probably has to do with like because healthy hair is probably a sign of a healthy person, and
Yeah.
so that genetically said, oh hey, I should mate with them because that's all evolutionary genetic is. That's like
Yeah.
if you ever question viewers like why
Why does this happen
yeah,
in
why do I feel this
humans?
way about somebody? It's evolution. You're
You're
trying to have a
trying
baby.
to, yeah.
It's really weird. But like yeah, so that's probably what's made hair trends like what they are is because they reflect health.
Well, that's not entirely true. For females, a lot of attraction is from being able to keep a child, like
That's true.
support a child.
Yeah,
So like
yeah.
they're attracted to older men who have their lives together, and
Financial
us
stability.
male pigs are attracted to whoever looks nice. Because we males can have effectively infinite babies, while females are limited.
Yeah, and of course these are all
These
general
are all
trends.
generalizations.
Of course.
You can make whatever lifestyle choice you please.
Yeah, of course. Oh, sure.
Um,
It's certainly not. It's
we're
certainly.
I think we're past the point where evolution dictates everything we do.
I say
I think,
thankfully so. I would say.
yeah, or else we'd all be killing and raping each other 24/7.
Yeah.
Yeah,
To get away from that note.
civilization. It's good. It's good stuff.
Boy, you never realize how long 15 minutes is.
Is it really that long? I when I'm doing this, I always like the 15 minutes is up, and I'm like, was that really 15 minutes?
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like maybe when I get into the midst of a conversation, it's
Yeah. Time's so subjective like that. Isn't that weird? Like,
yeah.
even though it's perfectly objective, like like we have atomic clocks that say like exactly what time it is, but
But
like
like our experience,
our
of that,
perception of it.
you can have the longest 20 seconds of your life, like if you're waiting to hear back from a girl whether she rejected you or not.
Yeah, I understand that. I've been there, but yeah, like it's
It,
weird. Like our perception is so wildly different.
right.
And it's
And
not even like an assigned like it's like 15 minutes is always long. You know what I mean? Like it could be really short or really long depending on what's going on.
you know how every decently smart child thinks eventually about like whether we see the same color as the different
Oh my
colors?
god, I still think about that. But go
Well,
on.
here's another example of qualia. What if we perceive time all differently? And,
Yeah.
like, what might be 15 seconds to me could be 15 hours to you, but you're so used to experiencing time so slowly that
Wow.
you just treat it as normal.
That's pretty. That's pretty weird. Yeah.
How
Maybe that
can,
is.
is it measurable? Like, can you measure how fast someone's perceiving time?
I don't know.
Maybe this is why different people have better reflexes than others.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so,
No.
actually.
You know what it is? It's like I don't think like on a grand scale, I don't think you could apply that qualia thing to time because it's like because then it gets a matter of like it's just like a like like word like the semantics of like because it's like. Like you know what I mean? It's more just like my 15 hours. It's like a conversion factor equals your 15 seconds. You know what I mean?
The
It's just like,
conversion factor.
yeah, whatever you want to say. Like something like that. But like maybe like on a very very small scale, it could be something like that where it's like I perceive this fraction of a second. But then it's like does that even matter?
Yeah, well, the whole thing is that none of them really matter because, I mean, I'm still gonna call this red cup a red cup,
I know.
even if I perceive it as your green. It's my red.
That makes it. It's so amazing to me that. Because like there really isn't a way to do it, and it's like both a scientific lesson, it's almost like a moral lesson too. You know what I mean? Like you can never tell what someone's like perceiving. Like
Yeah,
it's crazy.
your whole entire universe could be entirely different from mine, but we've learned them it's they've been filtered through our own subjective experiences to the point where they're the same thing.
Yeah.
That red cup is that red cup, doesn't matter.
It's because we agree on it, really.
Yeah. Really, the whole universe only operates in a very deep sense because we agree on these things.
What if people like Reggie and colorblind like are just like they've broken the code?
No, they've cracked the code. They know.
Yeah, they know. And then we just say, "Oh, no, you're just colorblind."
No, it's you're the stupid one.
You have a deficiency.
You have the deficiency.
Yeah. And then it's like the universe ends, and it's just like they make it to the other side, and we're like, "Oh, we were right." That's how it is.
Oh my goodness.
That'd be crazy, like a whole religion based on color perception.
Those things that are like, here's the color, what colorblind people see, here's the regular image. They kind of depress me when I show them to a colorblind person.
Oh.
Yeah, because it's like, is that really like how dull of an image you just see everything as?
Yeah. I don't know, it must be JT. Like literally every time someone's a colorblind, I remember my friend JT Kurtz. Shout out to JT Kurtz. Great guy.
I feel bad when I ask colorblind people questions because they probably get them all the time.
Yeah. I guess like that's like the thing with like I guess like I don't know if you could classify colorblind as a disability or like any kind of physiological thing like somebody has. Like it's always I don't know. We're always so curious about it, about people's physiological things.
Well, I think it's because you're kind of curious. Like if someone perceives something in a different way, you always have to wonder why.
Yeah.
And you always have to wonder like how it changes their outlook on everything.
Yeah, I guess that bespeaks to the human nature just to want to know things, you know, even just like, you know, like,
we're all eternally curious, except for some of us. Like I feel like we're more curious than the average Joes at the very least. You know what I mean?
Well, you could say that, but maybe we're most curious about certain things than other people. You know, like I think the average, like some you know.
Yeah.
There might be somebody who's really curious about how a car works. Like I'm not, like, you know, I can't. I'm not about. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those things where we're very curious about like the empirical science of things. Yeah. Which is great, but then some people might be very curious about just the regular everyday stuff too.
Yeah, like is Stacy still dating Joe, or
something like that?
Up? Yeah, I'm really curious.
Yeah, that's one of the universal curiosities. Like I guess that's what it is. Like we all are universally like socially curious. You know, we always want to know what's going on with our friends, I guess. And I guess that speaks to like we're all very caring people in the end, or we're all very nosy. I just want to know this because
remember Edward Scissorhands?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the whole town was like so nosy, and then that led to his downfall because nobody cares about anyone. I mean, nobody can not care about another person's business.
No, that's a beautiful movie.
Yeah, I think it's really actually kind of a profound message about like society and how like. You ever watch any E! Entertainment? Like, people genuinely watch that and feel like it's actual news.
Yeah, I don't know.
How are we possibly this invested in celebrities' lives?
I know. And I guess the sad thing is, like, you know, someone who does watch it will probably be like, oh, well, you know, how you entertained by, like, you know, like, watch, like, you know, I watch like a bunch of like science videos in my pastime, you know, and they'd probably be like, they probably wouldn't believe that either. And it's one of the things where I guess it's like, you know, it's like maybe like to me it's like I feel like those people haven't been exposed to like how interesting like I'm using the science stuff as an example, like how interesting that kind of stuff can be, which is kind of sad. And that's you know what I mean? Like it's like they don't even know how.
I mean, I feel like it's hard because I feel like even if you did show them. Like, they wouldn't take interest in it because that's just how they are. Oh, wow. So, time is up.
Okay.
What was the last word or phrase you said?
It was either how or are. Or no.
No. I would say, alright, the topic we should move to is, yeah, I have no idea.
No,
it's hard to.
We got too abstract.
Yeah, it was a very abstract sentence. What I was saying. I guess we could do how that works.
Okay, how. The concept of how.
The concept of that word is actually like very diverse. All right, I restarted the timer there.
The concept of how. I never heard anybody else talk about this.
It can refer to the manner in which something happens, or the extent to which it happens.
Yeah, we're getting. Whoa, this is pretty cool. I like linguistic.
Yeah, so do I. I love. My favorite's like learning about like root words, and then you realize like these words that you use all the time actually have the same root word all along.
Every time in Spanish class that happens, it's like someone dropped a fresh bar. Like it's just like it's just amazing. I'm just like, holy crap! Why did I never know? Like why did I never notice this? Like it makes too much sense. Too much sense. But anyway, so the nature of how. So there's the question how, which is like how do you do this?
Or how does this work?
Or how are you?
Yeah, how are you? It's so. If you ask that to someone who doesn't understand like
words,
yeah, like they wouldn't like. If you said the cat is running, you know, they'd be able to picture a cat running. But that same person, if you asked how are you, I mean that is a question you need to learn the meaning of.
Yeah, and it's like,
separate from its wording.
Or it's like you know, you say how are you, and it's like you would answer, oh, I am how. So it's like. What is that noun or like you know how do you answer how? Oh my god, I'm saying how so much.
It doesn't
crazy.
even sound like a word anymore.
It's like it's like you're trying not to say like. You know what I'm saying? Like all the time.
I know exactly what you mean.
And now we're gonna mutually keep thinking about that every time we say like.
I say the word exactly way too much. I figured that out by listening back to one of the episodes of this podcast.
I think I do that too.
I've been trying to work on it actually.
Yeah, I also like you know what I do like I've been trying to say like the word indeed more.
Indeed.
Just because like
it's better than
it's better than yeah. It's better than, you know what I mean? It's just like if someone like says like, hey, you know, like hey, you know, that was a great class. Once I'll be like, you know, you can say like yeah, and that sounds like you don't care. You'd be like you're like indeed, you know, like it's more forceful. It's more.
Yeah, it makes you seem like you care too much, but that's better than not enough.
You always got to sell it, man. There's no way to care too much. Life's too short to not care about things.
That's very true. There's plenty of time to care about everything that goes on.
It's weird.
Except other people's business, which was the message.
Right, the last section.
Yeah. So you got to strike the balance, and care about the right thing.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. I forgot all about how though. How. It could also be a person's name, I guess, or like.
Oh yeah, how. I know how.
You do.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, he came up to me and he's like, "Yo, what grade are you in?" I'm like, "I'm a junior." He's like, "Oh shoot, I thought you were a freshman."
Yeah. So how?
How
is how?
He left a good impression on me, as you could tell. No, but he's a super cool dude. He just graduated our school.
That's cool.
I don't want to say his last name because what if he's like not okay with this?
Yeah, right.
But his name is Hao, and he probably gets a bunch of wow. I just got a phone call. Ooh, this is ugly.
Ooh, that's okay.
No, it's still recording. All right, we're good.
Awesome.
How unprofessional of me getting a phone call in the middle of the podcast recording. Man, I really need to work it. Maybe I should get a microphone that isn't a phone. That's probably objective one.
I mean, it's a phone, microphone. They
both have phone in the name because
apparently share some similarities.
You know, phonus or whatever that word is. Yeah, that's in a lot of words.
I love how we strayed so far from how, but we still got back to linguistics.
Yeah.
I wonder what the root word of how is. Like, it's probably it's probably Germanic because like English, because it's certainly not like como because that's
that's nothing like como.
No.
I guess if you turn como upside down,
you get the W.
You get the W and the O. Yeah,
I guess so. And that makes me wonder, like, where did como get lost in the mix when we adopted all this Latin stuff into English? You know what I mean? Like, again.
You know what I gotta wonder? Does como have the same root word as comer?
I thought
because they're nothing alike.
I legit have thought that too. Yeah.
No, they don't because como has the accent mark. No, but like
sometimes it doesn't though. That's the thing.
No, well, that's when it's not used in the question sense. That's when it's used like, in the like sense.
But then that's even weirder. Like how does like equal like food?
Yeah.
Like equals I food. Like or I eat.
Yeah, I eat is the same word in Spanish for those uninitiated as like.
Yeah. So like in the sense as a comparison.
Yeah.
Not as in like I like you. That's te amo or like te quiero.
Gustar.
Oh, gustar. Oh, no, so many different ways.
No, but there is really no like in the English sense because gustar means to be pleasing to, and You actually say like this
This
water is pleasing to me, not I like this water.
Yeah, it gets very backwards, topsy turvy sometimes. And that's one of the great things about it. It's very
Yeah, but I feel like it's always for a reason
yeah, that
in
yeah.
Spanish. Like I gotta wonder, like the way we structure sentences in English and Spanish are very different. So could that affect the way we think?
You know what? I would
I
wager,
would
yeah.
say, yeah. Have you read 1984?
Oh, there you go. I freaking
Yeah,
love 1984. Fantastic book.
yeah, and that dealt a lot with the people like Winston. He wrote and and they took words out of the dictionary and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and it was all engineered very cleverly for people to subscribe to Big Brother, but I feel like maybe that's too extreme. I think some of us have inherent thoughts and actions and ideas that are irrespective of language.
Yeah, you know what? I guess that makes sense. I think it's one of the things where in 1984 at least, like it wasn't like they just removed the language. It's like they took or the language that we were familiar with, and they replaced it with this with the new one. They replaced it with Newspeak in the novel.
Or what was it called? Inksuck? Oh no, that was
Oh, that was the
that was
place.
the
That was the
political
cartoon. Yeah,
ideology. Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, they replaced it with like Newspeak, and like it was like you said, like like you can't. I think I agree. It probably isn't like there are things that you can't remove for somebody, but like in the novel, like it gets very heavily filtered through these things. Like all like the animalistic grades of the people who naturally feel like it gets channeled through like the politics and therefore through the language of it. And I gotta read that book again because it's just it's masterful.
Yeah, it's what a book.
Yeah,
George Orwell.
George Orwell.
I've read some of his other stuff. Not a fan, to be honest.
Oh,
His writing
okay.
style is very dry. Like I feel like 1984 only really hit me because it dealt a lot with like the way we think, and it made me question
Yeah.
everything
Oh,
around me.
I read it at the perfect time in my life. Like like it's a great
Yeah,
high school book where it's just like you realize like
you get woke.
yeah you get woke you get straight up woke and it's just like what I mean. I guess that's like what people say about Catcher in the Rye too, but I still don't read Catcher in the Rye.
Neither have I.
I rhymed.
Yeah,
We're dropping bars.
I was about to say that.
But like yeah like but yeah like George yeah 1984 was like it was one of the books like you said it made me question things exactly. It was just like. And not even just government, like, and that's one of the things qualms I have about the book is that like people like really they really like connect to government all the time, and it can be, but like there's another aspect in that book, like it's very human, like there's a human aspect.
People only ever talk about, like, literary critics, they only ever talk about the political message behind the book. They never talk about the very human messages
Yeah,
besides politics.
yeah, and like I'd love to go into it, but I don't want to spoil it for anybody listening.
Oh
Just
yeah.
just
If
know
you
it.
haven't read 1984, go illegally download a copy. I don't even care. You need to read this book.
I know you could ask me personally. I probably have a copy. Just go right ahead. It's great. Oh, what was it? I just lost my thought. It was we were talking about the human thing about it. But yeah, like if you want like a straight political one, like read like George Orwell's Animal Farm.
Animal Farm. That
I still haven't read that, but like I know
Neither have
everything that happens. I know it's an allegory for like Soviet Russia and all that.
Well, maybe there is an aspect that besides politics in that book. I haven't read it, so you know how 1984 we thought it was all about politics, then we read it and we found out there's other aspects to
I
it.
just realized we both made a sweeping generalization about a book neither of us
Yeah,
read.
we just criticized the book in the same way we were criticizing other people.
I
for
know.
going to
I just
1984.
assumed you read it.
No, I haven't read it
Wow,
either.
that's like a microcosm of just like any interaction between two people who just don't know what they're talking about. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
I apologize for my ignorance.
Yeah, maybe Animal Farm is my favorite book of all time.
I know.
just don't know it.
Maybe it's the most moving thing I've ever read in my life.
I doubt it.
But honestly, I got to give that title to The Stranger.
I thought it was cool. I didn't think it was super cool, like 1984. But I understand where you're coming from because that has a lot to do with like how society shapes the way we behave and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that was like during that time in my life, like I was feeling like Mersault. I was very like what I was like.
I feel like Mersault all the time.
Sometimes I still do. It's just like like I could, but.
well, I don't feel hatred against humanity. I just feel like the way I think is so different from the way other people think, and
No,
I feel
and
alone sometimes.
that's okay. That's not.
But that's normal, I
Yeah,
guess.
I think we all do.
Some more than others.
Nah, I get it. I don't worry. Like I've been that
Do you
way.
really like it? I don't mean to be rude, but like, do you really think like the super popular kids at high school who do nothing but think about partying with their friends all day? Do you think they ever feel the loneliness that?
Well, I guess again that's one of the things where you can never know. You know, there may be some who definitely don't. Maybe some who do it who think about that crap all the time. You know, like
that's true.
And that speaks to just the wild variety of human life, which is just beautiful. And I won't get into that. But like, but it's just like some people do choose that lifestyle because they feel that lonely, and they just don't like
true.
realize it, or they just don't like know how to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
And so and some people just have a good time, and there's nothing too wrong with it.
Yeah, honestly, the way I live my life is like whatever I feel like doing, I'll do, and sometimes that begets me success, sometimes it doesn't, but yeah, and obviously I'm gonna work towards success. I'm not just gonna not do that if I feel lazy.
Right. And I think one of the things in life is you have to realize that success can't just be
sometimes
happy.
Success is sometimes if you maybe take the job that pays less money, you will end up more successful than if you took the higher paying job.
That's
simply
true.
because of how happy you are.
Yeah, it's not like success equals success will not, like the traditional definition of success will not always get you happiness, but if you're happy, then you've already succeeded.
Yeah,
Bada
exactly.
bing.
And the common counter to that is like, yeah, but if I had a hell of money, like I would feel pretty successful. And yeah, but once you get to the point where you have a comfortable living and you could buy whatever you want, like past that amount of money, which is estimated to be about 850,000 a year.
Oh my stats.
Yeah. I believe that's the number. But once you pass that amount of income, more income isn't going to make you happy.
Right. Oh, that's like an economics thing. I remember like I was reading like the first micro chapter that we ever did.
Yeah.
And there was something, or like the chapter right after we switched over to like because like we split. I don't get into that, but like I tried to read one of the micro chapters, and it was like there's like I forget what it's called. It was like something about margins, and there was like there's a certain like point at which like if you rate like where like if you're not willing to pay more for like a certain amount of something. Boy, I wish like Matt was here because he would probably explain this a lot better. But it's like there's that thing where it's like there like eventually like there's less and less you can buy to be satisfied with how much you purchase it for.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Something like that.
I think. Maybe I feel like I should have taken microeconomics instead of macroeconomics.
Sometimes
I feel like it fits more with my skill set and it's also more practical. And you're supposed to take it first. Before macro.
I can understand that, but like sometimes I think that, but then like I just got to a point. Honestly, I can enjoy macro. I at least appreciate macro because it's like it's I think it helps me understand like the political things going on. And I'm not going to know, but like it helps me understand that discourse because I never used to. So it's like at least it's like I'm so glad I understand something people are talking about.
Yeah, like when politicians talk like we must lower key interest rates.
Yeah,
using all this lingo that you have no idea. 99% of people don't know what politicians are talking about half the time.
That's true.
I feel like maybe 99% is a overly low estimate or high estimate, excuse me, but it could be.
Yeah.
How many people do you think understand politicians fully when they talk? I think it's a low amount.
The politicians don't even know what they're talking about sometimes.
Oh yeah, that's true. How many politicians know about those politicians are talking about?
Yeah.
Oh man.
I mean, but like you're right. It's probably like I guess like it depends like in what context they're talking. Like because like
that's you know more about like some. Ooh. Okay, so I think the last word we were on was
I
context.
think it was context.
I don't mean to cut you off because you had a point, so finish your sentence and then.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say like it just depends on like what context. You know, like if they're talking to like a very big crowd, they're probably not gonna be using those kinds of like like jargony words. But if it's like a Senate hearing over like the budget for the Department of Housing and Development, like I'm sure there would be a lot of jargon.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. All right, so context.
Context sounds like contacts. Maybe like
You're wearing glasses right now. I wear glasses as well, for those who didn't know. But I'm not wearing them right now. I don't really wear them as often as I probably should.
Right, but are you not wearing contacts?
I'm nearsighted. No, I'm not wearing contacts either.
Okay.
I'm nearsighted, and I only really need them to see stuff from more than 2 feet away.
I am very, very nearsighted. So like, if I take my glass off right now, I'm gonna try to like, I'm looking in a mirror that's like 2 feet away from me. I cannot read the words on my shirt at all.
I can't read the words on your shirt either.
Oh, well, I guess
so maybe
I gotta find
maybe I'm more blind than I think I am. I'm too blind to function, I think, and I just don't know it.
Yeah, but like, not, like if I were to go drive home right now without my glasses, I would. There's
I need my glasses to drive.
Very bad chance.
At least safely. I could probably manage without them, but
I'll see other cars and I'll see the lights, but it's like street names I'll be lost.
Yeah.
But anyways, I hate wearing contacts, to be honest.
I've never tried them. What are they like?
You're gonna get like. It says it's a subjective experience for people because some people wear them every day and they're fine with that, and props to them because I really don't like doing it and it's nothing against them, but it's like for me it's just like you have to poke yourself in the eye like.
I feel like it's super uncomfortable. It would be super uncomfortable to have a piece of plastic in your eye.
Well, the thing is,
or it's not really plastic.
It's uncomfortable to get in. That's the worst part about it, and like, like I mean, once you get it in and like it's situated like. You like it won't really like you won't be able to tell for a little while. Like it's like the discomfort of putting it in outweighs the discomfort of when they're in because like they're very soft. Like they're drenched in saline solutions. So they're not as irritating. But it's like you wear it for like extended period of time. Like even so over the course of the day, and like you'll feel it, like your eyes are just like tired from like wearing them. For me at least. And like God forbid you sleep in them, you're
done.
You're done. GG. But like yeah, and
I'm wondering, in what context have you worn contacts?
Yeah.
No, I didn't mean that. I genuinely did not mean to put the word context in that sentence. It just kind of happened. But like because I never seen you wear them. Like when do you need to present yourself without glasses?
That's the thing. I stopped wearing them because I only tried to like on a few occasions, and I think that's one other thing is it's like you have to build up a tolerance to it after a time. And like I'm not the kind of person that ever do. I don't know what it is. Like I don't have the patience to build up a tolerance or anything. It's the same for like alcohol and stuff. Like
yeah.
Like I've tried alcohol in the past, and it's one of the things. Just like I'd have to build up a tolerance.
It's supposed to be an acquired taste. I think the correct term there is Stockholm syndrome, personally, but.
That for some people that might be true. I'd have to say, but like
you had to keep drinking it until you like it. Does that sound a little weird to some people? It's such a part of our culture that people don't question it, but when you think about it, like you're just drinking it until you like it. That's
until you need it, and so in most cases, like
yeah.
But like but anyways, going back to the context thing, it's like that. I think that's what it is. Like if I just put it in my eyes enough, like it would not hurt me anymore, and I could be okay with it. But it's one thing I just don't value, like that cosmetic aspect of it.
I definitely see what you're saying.
Like I love wearing.
My mom always tells me to get contacts, and I'm like, first of all, no.
First of all, no.
And then there's no second of all.
There you go. But no, like I remember, like I probably wore my contacts like only a few times in my life. It was like probably from my 8th grade formal. That was the first time I wore them, and I felt like I remember I felt.
Did you die at that formal? Did you feel uncomfortable in the eyes during that formal? Did it ruin your formal?
No.
Okay,
no.
Good.
Because it was my first, like, it wasn't like the first time trying them on, because, like, I tried them on at home.
Oh, okay.
But, like, it was my
your first time wearing them out.
Yeah. And like it was pretty neat. Like like it was because like it was a different. There was a change in like my style. Like so like it felt those things always feel like really cool and different. So like it was nice. But then like like towards the end of the night like they hurt. Like I was like I don't want to wear this anymore. Like I remember like I went to a friend's house afterwards and like I put my glasses back on because like whatever.
Did you have a date to that formal?
I did not.
Oh, okay. So I was gonna ask, like, did your date say if you had worn glasses, I wouldn't have gone with you?
No, but I went with I think I went with a bunch of friends. Like went with like all my friends from band, and it was a great time. Honestly, it really was. And like I think it was just like it was just like to me it was like a perfect opportunity. You know what I mean? It was a very fitting opportunity to try out this change, to see if I liked myself with them. And like to see if other people like myself with them, and like oh, this is my friends, so I would have said yeah anyway. I trust that. But like, so I was more for like did I feel comfortable with them, and I did. But then it was like it just didn't really work out.
Goodness gracious! I keep getting phone calls. I'm so sorry to my grandmother who's calling me right now.
I'm sorry to grandmother too.
I feel so bad that I'm not picking up these calls, but the show must go on.
So I guess so. I guess we're dedicated, But like yeah, like that, I probably want my contacts then. Probably like some like band banquet or somewhere down the line, and eventually got like a concert or something. I guess it got a point where it was very inconvenient. It was just like I don't know where it is because like it's like the value like the trade off isn't very valuable to me. Where it's like the trade between looking a certain way without my glasses versus like the actual like pain I get from wearing them, it wasn't worth it because like I like wearing my glasses. I like that style of like having glasses on my face. I feel like it's befitting to my face and my personality.
I feel cool when I wear my glasses. Yeah.
You ever realize how like there's been like a growing trend in people like wearing glasses like
but like, yeah, a couple like people who don't need them, but they like to wear them.
No, not even that. Like, because that happened like a couple years ago, like during the whole hipster thing kind of thing.
Dude,
but like
thick rim. You ever meet a person who went to the movie theater and watched a 3D movie and popped those 3D lenses out? I say, don't pop the lenses out. Just wear them raw, and you'll see everything in 3D. It'd be a cool experience.
That's that's how they market it basically. Like they market it as this life changing thing. Like a 3D movie. Holy crap! Might as well get your money's worth and just keep wearing them. but no, it's like what am I gonna say? Like yeah, girls are trying to like do like those fake glasses I love. But like I feel like not compared to like decades ago.
Oh, because. Probably our screen use,
maybe, but
broad term.
Yeah, but you know what? I remember like I watched the videos on SciShow. I remember on YouTube where like they talked about that, and I was like, what they didn't talk about like it was more like why do we need glasses, and like they didn't talk about this global phenomenon I've observed. They were saying like they use South Korea as an example because apparently in South Korea like the rate of nearsightedness has been like crazy high recently. Mm-hmm. Was like 80-something%. I think it's 87%. Like it's a lot of people.
So odd.
And like they were like trying to like say like they were like challenging like the usual things where it's like the usual things are like it's always like you either like spending too much time looking at a screen or you're reading in dim light. Like that's always what it was. Yeah. Those like the two reasons I've ever heard, and like I think they proved like both of those were wrong because it was like. Because it was like...
Suck on that, Mom.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, I love my mom,
no,
actually.
Yeah, I love my mom, too. But
she's just concerned for my health, and I understand. But, yeah, suck these facts.
That's very true. That's very mature segue out of that insult. It was good.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't actually treat my mom poorly, even if that's the impression you might get.
Yeah. Like, I think we all
respect her very much.
We're teenagers. We all have that, like... indifferent attitude.
I don't even have that. I have the utmost respect for her, and I would never say these things to her.
No, exactly. Exactly. That's what I mean. It's like we have this.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
We say these things like at first just because they're funny, or like like because like they carry this connotation to it that's like very like humorous and like it's its force.
Yeah,
but like a lot of us would never.
I was going for a joke.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was a weird. I guess it's a weird phenomenon. That's a weird phenomenon too. Like just how humor has evolved. But that's a whole other topic.
Anyway, back to the nearsightedness.
Right. So it's like the nearsightedness thing. It's like apparently what it was, at least in South Korea, is because of their high rate of like school, like going to school and like studying, like time spent studying inside and not outside in natural light. according to this video, which might not be too y'all. Anybody's free to fact check me. Like I am not proponent of this. Like apparently that was why nearsighted in South Korea was like at its rate that it was, because apparently there was something about like exposure to natural light like prevents that from happening if it's you know like from like. Unless it's like a genetic thing, in which case, you know, like, well, I don't know what to tell you, but like, yeah, and I guess that makes sense to me personally, because I was not an outside kid very much, so maybe that's what happened.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So what you're telling me is that I'm allowed to sue the school for making me study and losing my eyesight.
Yeah, and that's the thing, because like I think also like I think like some of the schools in South Korea they wouldn't like provide recess or like at least like not like outside recess. So like and like I think like because I think it was after like the study was published in South Korea, like a lot of schools like moved it. Oh man, we should you know let our kids you know go outside for a little bit longer time so they can you know have their eyes not die. You know, like,
you hear that? Our high school
recess, bring it back.
I'm gonna write a letter to our principal about this. You're killing people's eyesight.
Yeah. Now, as for farsightedness, I don't know where that comes from. I don't know what that's.
That comes. I know it's from when your alveolar, not your alveolar ridge. I'm sorry, the part of the lens of your eye doesn't bounce. It bounces back light too far, and it misses your the part that receives the images.
Yeah, yeah.
Damn, I took a test on this like last week.
That's okay. Yeah, it's like I don't know if this is really true in the actual like physiology, but like in the books how they make it look like the eyeballs like narrower.
Yeah.
And I don't know if, is that really what it is? Like, or is it just how it's just depicted to exaggerate the angle of it?
I think that's how they depict it. I don't think it's that extreme.
Yeah, probably not.
You know the eyes are the only part of the body that does not grow.
Really? Well, I'm like, really? Huh.
Yeah.
I think I've heard that.
Yeah. I mean, your ears grow, your nose grows.
Yeah.
A lot of people say nose when you ask them, like, what's the one part of the body that doesn't grow? Like, does your nose really not grow? Like, is people's perception that their nose never grows? I don't even get it.
I don't even know. Like, I mean, because the thing is, I don't get it either way because I don't understand the process. But like, I have faith in science that you know, like I've heard it from, well, it does grow, but it's just like. I don't know how. Like I could not I guess it like.
Oh yeah.
There must be some kind of like. I was made a collagen, right? Like.
Yeah.
I think so. Like there must be some kind of like collagen producing process in our body. I don't know why. You know, like that's the thing is like when I try to think like when I hear stuff like that, it's just like instead of focusing on that, I try to think like why is that true? And it's like I can't even begin. Like why? Like I start thinking about way too many other stuff about it. Like why do we evolve to have our noses grow? What the fuck? Like.
Yeah, why do noses grow? Why can't just the rest of our bodies grow and our noses stay baby size?
Why are we expecting that energy just to have my nose grow? Like what?
Well, like. Oh, maybe it's because as your body grows bigger, it needs more oxygen, so you need a bigger nostrils.
Right, but that's the other thing. Like, there's so many parts of the nose. Like, which part of the time I'm growing? Is like the tip? Yeah. Is it like actually like the nasal cavities? Is like the inside? Like,
what if your nostrils just never stop growing and the radius of your nostril just determined how old you were?
It's like the rings of a tree. Like
yeah, or like the number of rings on or spots on a ladybug.
Is that really true?
I think that's BS. Personally,
I think it might be BS too. Like why would they
like what function would that serve in the ladybug physiology?
Yeah. And it's like why would the pigment like think about it, you have to add that pigment to your skin in that like why would it be on that time clock if it's exactly a year, you know, like
I mean there's some explanation for why different spots happen.
Yeah. But it's like you know what I mean?
It's the same sense in a dog, like their fur grows in spots, but like a Dalmatian for instance.
Right, yeah.
But it doesn't like count their age. Like that doesn't even make any sense.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like that's the other thing. Like the thing is like why
years are a very human concept too.
Yeah,
like a ladybug
like
doesn't experience.
It's an
years.
Arbitrary unit of time, anyways. You know, like and it's also like why would they expend that energy to do this? Like, you know what I mean? Like just to amuse us, so they can tell us how old we are.
Maybe the ladybug becomes more attractive to mates the more spots it gets.
But I feel like that's backwards because usually like the older like the older an organism is, like, you know, the less viable it usually is. So like
usually there's a peak.
So usually you wouldn't want to sell that. Why don't ladybugs remove a spot every year?
Yeah, or like why don't if it's the amount of black on your back, like why don't they just become all black?
Yeah.
No red.
Yeah, 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 you know what I mean?
Like if you had a very old ladybug, would it just be black?
And it's also like, it's just weird because also it's weird because it's like it would be like I don't even know like.
Yeah, I think we've debunked that myth.
Yeah, we've debunked it. There's a lot of reasons why it's wrong.
There's probably like a entomologist who's like super offended
he's just sitting there.
No, it's true for this reason.
Just fuming.
You idiot.
Yeah, if that's the case, then feel free to educate me. I will gladly admit I'm wrong.
Please let us know. Or actually, I'll probably look it up myself. But please let us know anyway.
Yeah.
Do ladybugs actually gain more spots the older they get? Because right now, my verdict is no.
Yes.
But I could be very well proven wrong.
Yeah,
I'll accept it.
I'm only educated in like the general biology of it.
Ooh.
It looks like it's gonna be biology.
No.
Oh wait.
It stopped when you said education.
Oh.
It's time to talk about the education system. Oh no, it's gonna be right.
Both depressing and like uplift. I don't know. Maybe just depressing.
I don't think it's gonna be. Listen, I am a vehement defender of our current education system.
Okay, I'm a fan. I will defend education itself to the end of the earth. But I know some. But the thing is, I know other people have negative opinions about the education system. So like,
yeah,
it's one of those things. Like I'm all for education in whatever sense it is.
I don't think our education system is perfect by any means, but I feel like a lot of the criticisms it gets are unjustified.
Okay.
And the reason I think this is because a lot of criticism goes against teachers and test makers for not prioritizing a love of education, but just simply teaching facts for the test or whatever. And I think this ignores the responsibility that each student has to want to learn more themselves. You shouldn't have to, teachers shouldn't have to instill a desire to learn in their students. The teacher's job is to educate you, and your job is to become educated. You know what I'm saying? Like, you as an individual need to love to learn. It's not the teacher's job to make you love to learn, because they can't do that. It's all up to you.
Well, you know what it is, but then again, I think in some cases, some people are just do naturally love to learn, but then I think some people have to learn to love to learn, which is really weird.
Yeah, but like, who can really teach if it's not in your personality to love the education process? Then can you really ever love to learn? Like, is that something you could teach someone?
I don't know. That's an interesting question. I think it's just like one of the things where it's like they're like going back to what I said before about like why people get upset about there's like sometimes they're like a few like isolated examples of like when like a teacher was exceptionally unhelpful to somebody. In which case, I condemn that teacher. That person does not have that job. You know?
There are so many teachers in the United States. Obviously, a lot of them are going to be very flawed. Some are more flawed than others.
That's a fair point too. We have a very large sample size.
But as long as they're doing their job of teaching you, and the teacher's job, obviously it's a little bit more than just teaching you, but I feel like a lot of people they don't like. All right, so what I'm trying to say is a lot of people's favorite teachers growing up, like the legendary, like, oh, if you get this teacher, you got it made.
Yeah.
A lot of them weren't really well loved because they actually taught well. It was because they were very funny and cool people. And, that's a great quality to have in a teacher.
Right.
But it's not necessarily that those teachers taught well. So if you already have all these students who are looking forward to teachers not because they teach well, but because they have this reputation for being cool and funny, or whatever. So I think inherently a lot of people don't
are disappointed when they get when they get to that teacher.
Or no, not that they're disappointed, but like that they look for the wrong qualities in a teacher, and then they criticize the education system for like not teaching them enough.
I can see it. I can see it. You know what it is?
Like they already don't want to learn by looking for certain qualities, and I'm not saying like a cool teacher is necessarily bad. In fact, most cool teachers are great teachers, and they go hand in hand very often.
Yeah.
But if you're already looking forward to a teacher who's cool and funny versus one who teaches well, then I feel like you don't have any grounds to criticize the education system for not letting you learn to love to learn.
Right. I can understand. I can see where points are coming from.
I'm finding it hard to elaborate my thoughts right now.
No, I get it.
But yeah, what I'm saying is, it's your the lights just flickered. That happens all the time. Don't worry, it's not just you.
Good. I was so worried that was my fault.
I was so worried I was somehow causing a power surge of some sort. But no, yeah. So in conclusion, start to love to learn. And I think you'll find that a lot of your criticisms of the education system they come from the wrong place. They come from good intentions.
Yes,
but,
I definitely agree with that.
But, yeah, I'm sorry. I can't elaborate my thoughts.
No, I get it.
Well
I think one of the things were like, I think how like the system, the education system, in a way, is a very subjective thing. And what you think about it, because
it's very subjective.
Because there are some things that are definitely not subjective, like what a curriculum can offer, you know, like what a class like literally is supposed to be like. Those things are very not objective, and that to criticize those things, I can agree with. Like, you know, like if you say like, oh hey, my US1 class should cover, you know, like the American Revolution, and they don't, then be like, okay, that's a flawed thing. That's very flawed. You should check that out. I think it's one of the things where it's like, yeah, because even do exist, like you said, those teachers who are cool and funny and those positive things, and great teachers, and you know, and I think it's one of the things where like those things that we find in a teacher that we value can sometimes make us more conducive to listen to that information being provided of us, and that's the thing, is those things are highly subjective, you know, as to what people like, you know what I mean? Like, some people might not want a funny teacher, you know, like, which sounds kind of stupid, but, you know, they may want a teacher to be really serious and really, like, driven to, like, just get to work and, like, get this thing done. If then I'd be like, okay, that's great. That's how I want to learn. Like, that's great. And if they have a funny to be like, oh hey, this teacher doesn't take anything seriously. I don't learn anything in this class. The system's so flawed. And it goes the exact opposite way, where, you know, it's like this guy's a stiff. It's so boring. I'm not learning anything. So it's like our experiences are so subjective in the education system, and like just in general, and like what we find valuable in education is so subjective that like it's almost impossible to make a critique about the system in that kind of subjective sense.
Yeah, I definitely see what you're saying.
Life is full of subjectivities, man. It's so crazy.
I feel like maybe a point I want to make is like we have so many different students with different personalities and different objectives, different opinions, that some of them are bound to just not be built for education. And that's fine. I feel like that should be more taken into consideration. Like, some people are clearly built to be academic, and some people aren't.
Right, and
I feel like that should be more respected and acknowledged.
And I think what you mean is more like not by any means like in terms of intelligence, in terms of just like performance in an academic environment.
Yes,
which does not correlate with intelligence by any means. You know, or not necessarily. It doesn't necessarily correlate.
It doesn't necessarily correlate. It does, but like that's for different. It could be for various reasons why they correlate.
And to balance what it's saying, I think what it is I think a lot of like the media complaints with the education system and stuff like one I can understand more than others is because like people have different, like they say, you know, learning styles, whatever you want to call it, you know, and it's like, and like I think it's one of the things where like usually the people who are like against these arguments for like when people say like, oh, education is a flaw and people are against it, I usually say like, oh well, we can't just cater to what you want, which, you know, makes sense, but I think it's one of the things where it's like it's like an option kind of thing. It's like if somebody isn't doing well with this format of learning, then like they should be able to have a different option so they can do better, which I can understand. I don't know how that'll be implemented, but I can understand that. But I think most people who argue for a change like ism are like may not be arguing for like a sweeping change of the whole thing to apply to everybody. I think it's more like if it's a conditional thing. If a person is experiencing a difficulty with X thing, then this will have a Y thing to do.
Another point I often see brought up when criticizing the education system is that like teachers focus too much on the kids passing the AP test and not enough on actually learning.
Oh yeah.
So at first, what I was thinking was, if the test is meant to measure your knowledge of the subject matter, so the whole point of the test is to measure how much you've learned.
Right.
It's not like two different numbers; they correlate to each other. If you don't know anything about chemistry, you're not gonna get a good grade on the chemistry exam.
Yeah,
whereas if you do know about chemistry, then you will. That's how it's supposed to work, and it does most of the time. But the Common Core math, have you seen these things?
Have I? I don't know. Maybe not.
So they're very scary. They're like word problems, and you remember word problems,
I remember
right?
word problems, yes.
We still do them all the time now.
Yeah.
But anyway, so they have this very simple word problem, and the Common Core curriculum makes the students learn this in a very odd way. Like, if there's this worksheet, and it's like, the word problem is essentially boils down to add 111 to 132.
Okay.
And you're expecting, just line them up and then add the columns like a common sense person would.
Right.
But what they expect you to do is to use a number line and like draw like arrows and stuff going from this number to this number,
so like, I guess,
and a bunch of crazy stuff like that.
It's like a really, really raggedy way of like being conceptual, but overly so, I guess. Like,
well, what they're trying to do is instill the concepts of math in a way that they won't struggle as much when they get to algebra, because that's where the big filter happens. That's where the mathy kids get separated from the not so mathy kids. It's at the algebra level.
Yeah.
So what they're trying to do is make mathematical concepts more algebra friendly, I guess, so that they understand it in a way where they won't be stumped when they get to algebra. But I feel like with this, the way they're doing it is not only are some of the kids who would be bad at algebra, are they gonna still fail anyway, but a lot of kids who would be good at algebra are also going to learn to hate math.
Right.
Even when they should be liking it, if they just learned to do it in the simple way that we learned.
See, that's why I can understand like someone coming in and saying like, wow, you know what, maybe we should not have every kid have to learn this way through the Common Core. Like, I can understand, like, that's a good critique of the education system, being like, hey, yeah, that makes sense. Someone's having different...
Common Core, get your crap together.
Yeah.
Because the way you're teaching math is terrible and stupid, and I think you need to be sued, quite frankly.
This isn't a disclaimer. This is not a formal admission of a suit, but
yeah.
By any means.
And there was also a word problem that was like Joe ate 5/8 of his pizza, Sally ate 6/8 of her pizza, but Joe ate more pizza than Sally. How is that possible?
Oh wow!
And the answer the kid wrote was Joe had a bigger pizza than Sally.
Oh.
Yeah, and that makes sense, right?
That makes a lot of sense, yeah.
But then the teacher marked it wrong and said, no, the correct answer is it's not possible because 6/8 is a bigger fraction than 5/8. That teacher needs to be fired. I'm so sorry, but like, you need to get sued.
Or the person who made that answer at least is to be fired. Or when told that, like, unless if the teacher firm believes it, then yeah, screw that teacher. But like, if she's being forced to grade it, then that way, then
then it's
whoever's responsible. Whoever's responsible for that answer being there should be fired.
This kid just thought of this conceptually in such a great and excellent way.
Yeah.
And you're punishing him for it. And I bet that kid's gonna grow up to kind of resent the education. Even if he is built for it and should like it, he just won't.
Yeah.
Because you're restricting thought processes in this way. and that's another thing. Like a lot of math, a lot of algebra is like very. It's very concept oriented. Like the actual raw number calculations are what you learn in elementary school.
Yeah.
And then when you move on, like you should be able to do them just like the snap of a finger. But like the way they're teaching these kids to do these base calculations is already drawing influence from how they're teaching them algebra. And then they're wondering, like,
what's going on? What's happening?
Yeah, like, why are kids not doing so well in algebra? Maybe we should take the way they learn that and make them learn it at an earlier level. That'll solve the problem.
Yeah. It's like when you learn, about what a tree is. Like, you talk about photosynthesis.
Yeah.
How the chemicals involved. It's like, okay, this will help them a lot.
Yeah. Well, I guess, you know what? The one subject where I think we do it backwards, though, is language.
Oh my god, the language system. Don't get me started. We're probably in agreement on this, but go ahead. Like, I hate that.
Yeah, so children's minds are so much better at learning languages than past people who are older than children.
Preach it, I'm already agree. Preach it, go right ahead.
Yeah, so in elementary school, the way the Spanish class consists of singing songs like Buenos dias, ¿cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás?
I don't know.
Yo estoy muy bien. and you're supposed to learn common Spanish phrases in this way. Great intention, but the problem is, like, why don't you teach them the grammar and stuff to it now?
Oh my god.
When they're able to learn it with their squishy, spongy brains, instead of teaching them it later on,
you are exactly
when they
right.
should be doing the song crap to learn it.
You are exactly right. In fact, I want to argue that the time ended on the word Spanish. We can keep talking about this.
Yeah, no. Just keep going. Like, honestly, like, who cares about the
at this point,
whole concept of the podcast?
The whole premise of this.
No, I'm serious. Like, if you have anything to say, go for it.
I fucking agree 100% with that, because it is scientifically right. Like look at Europe. Like they have like 5 neighbor any country there.
No, every country except the United States, they learn language like from the time they start kindergarten onwards.
I know,
and they have to learn this language. And I don't know if they teach it in the retarded way as well, but they probably don't, because the children end up learning the language just fine. Whereas the way we have it here, you don't learn it as effectively as you should, because you learn it too late.
I am in an AP 5 Spanish class, and I'm doing pretty okay.
Yeah.
But I still do not have the vocabulary and understanding of a 6-year-old who was born in
still regret that my mom didn't teach me Spanish when I was younger, because she's bilingual. She could have. It doesn't make any sense. So she's bilingual, and her mother, who took care of us very often, only speaks Spanish. She speaks very broken English. So, like, why didn't we learn Spanish? Who were they talking to in English?
Who were they talking to? No, I get it. It's the same. I'm a gringo alas, so I'm very I have no experience. But what was I gonna say? But it makes so much sense. Just do it simultaneously.
Yeah. I apologize for that little cutout. I'm gonna edit that out. Okay, yeah.
And we're back.
Yeah, and we're back. Okay, yeah.
Perfect.
But anyway, so I'm gonna. This episode went very well. I feel we got a lot of solid gags in there, but we also got a lot of great discussion.
I agree.
Any closing thoughts, words?
No,
Anything you want to say?
I think you're a great conversationalist. I gotta say, great conversationalist.
Thank you.
I love these kind of discussions, and I feel like we need more of them. So I'm in full support of this podcast and its existence. I think it's a great idea. I endorse it. Michael approved.
I feel like the idea behind the word you say at the end of the block is what the next topic is, because that not only does that encourage a bunch of different diverse topics being discussed in whatever way we please, but also the exact word you use in the context of the sentence you used it might not be what the actual topic ends up being.
And you see, I think it can still be connected, and you can still have a coherent thing. You can talk about potentially anything.
Yeah,
and I like that.
exactly.
I like that a lot.
And I haven't gotten any repeats yet, so that's great.
That's awesome. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, I mean, it's only been like 3 episodes, but...
Oh, well, knock on wood.
Yeah, knock on wood. If I do get a repeat, that's fine, because we could just discuss it in a different way or to a greater, deeper extent.
You should do something special if that happens. Like, you get a bell, sound an alarm. Like, just go through the episodes, write down each topic, and then, like, if it happens, you go like, oh, shoot, ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, get one of those New Year's... thingy.
Yeah, it's like have like let's do like a speed round. Like someone says a sentence, and then like the last sentence, like the last word.
Oh, yeah.
That would be pretty cool.
Each person says a one sentence thought on the topic, and then you get a replacement topic to sub in.
Yeah, but also be like, I think this is complicated. Complicated things are. Like,
yeah, this is getting
very abstract.
Yeah. We'll see where it goes. But yeah, so this podcast is still gonna be constantly improving all the time. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna try a bunch of different co-hosts, and I don't think I'm gonna end up sticking to one dedicated co-host. Maybe I'll have a few regulars cycling in and out, but I feel like because you need that familiarity and you need to develop chemistry with your co-host for an effective podcast. But I also want to try a bunch of different guests, and
you get a bunch of different views on the world, and that's what life's about.
Yeah, really. Having just the same 2 people every week really doesn't allow the main purpose of the podcast to come out as well as it could. But anyway, this has been What Were We Talking About Again? If you have a suggestion for a starting topic for next week, please let us know. You can either put it in the comments, or you can tweet it at us personally, or text us if you have our number. Or you could go to the official What Were We Talking About Again Twitter account, which I'm making right after this episode.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, and just tweet at us a random word or topic. It could be 2 words, I guess.
Yeah.
If you really wanted it to. But anyway, I hope you all have a very safe and but still fun weekend.
Yep. Indeed. Thank you for having me.
Oh, no problem. You were excellent.
Thank you.
Yeah. I hope the viewers like you as much as I did. All right. Peace.
Peace out.